Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad an-Nabi al-Ummi wa ala alihi wa sallam taslima. There's a few ahadith, two more ahadith to be correct. Two more ahadith inshallah ta'ala to complete this bab and this section. So let's do the two ahadith and then we'll speak about the tarjumatul bab, the label or the title of the next section inshallah. So this hadith is 1526. وعن أنس رضي الله عنه أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه says that the Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم said لما أرج بي مررت بقوم لهم أظفار من نحاس يخمشون وجوههم وصدورهم. Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم says, on the night I was ascended to the heavens, so we're speaking about the night of Mi'raj, I passed by a group of people whom had nails, fingernails of brass. So metal, solid metal fingernails. These people had solid metal fingernails of brass. And they were scratching. They were scratching and scraping their faces and their chests. So of course we know the night of Mi'raj, لِنُرِيَهُ مِنْ آيَاتِنَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Quran about the Isra, and then the Isra is the journey from Makkah to Medina on the Buraq, and the Mi'raj, sorry, not Makkah to Medina, Makkah to Baytul Maqdas in Jerusalem. So Makkah to Baytul Maqdas in Jerusalem, sitting on the Buraq. This was called the Isra, or the night journey. And then from Jerusalem, Baytul Maqdas, to the heavens, this was called the Mi'raj, or the Ascension. And Allah speaks about the night journey or the Isra in Quran. And the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tells us about the Mi'raj from the Ahadith. Right? So, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was shown the ayat and the signs of Allah on the night of Mi'raj. The signs of Allah means certain secrets that the heavens would contain. They were now made apparent to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he saw with his own eyes the Akhirah. He visited the Akhirah, he visited places, he visited the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam, and he saw those things that we have not seen. And he saw those things that a person would see only after death. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam witnessed those things while he was alive, while he was awake. So when he was in the Mi'raj, he passed by a group of people. They had metal or brass fingernails, and they were scraping and digging and peeling away their faces and their chests. So these people were like this, metal fingernails, and they were starting from here, and they were scratching and scraping and peeling away their faces and their chests like this. And then they would come with the other hand and they would start scratching and scraping like this and eat it away and peel away like this. And it would grow back, and then they would start again and again. And they were continuously doing that. Now that is a very, very, very painful type of punishment. And these people were doing it to themselves. It was not being done to them by angels or anything else. They were doing it to themselves. So they were forced to do this, to be stuck in this perpetual adab and punishment. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked Jibril, because Jibril alayhi wasallam was the usher and the companion of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the night journey and in the Mi'raj, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Man ha'ula ya Jibril? Oh, who are these people, O Jibril? Jibril alayhi salam answered, Ha'ula alladhina ya'kuluna luhuma nas wa yaqa'una fi aradihim. These were the groups of people who used to eat the flesh of people, of men. They would eat the flesh of their brothers and sisters, meaning they would backbite them, and they would sit together. They would sit together in gatherings, just to وَيَكَعُونَ فِي أَرَادِهِمْ, just to do what? Just to speak about the faults of people. You know, there are some people like that. There are some people, they will just sit in company of others. Some people will just visit one another only to be able to speak about the faults of someone else. And they would go for hours upon hours upon hours speaking about the faults of people. Not just backbiting, sometimes they would even enter into slandering, they would make up stories. If they can't find facts, they would start making up things about people, and their majlis would only be about speaking evil against people. This is it, that's all. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that this will be their punishment in the hereafter, after death. What an evil punishment. Abu Hurairah anhu then says, it's another hadith, that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Kullul muslimi ala al-muslimi haramun, damuhu wa iraduhu wa maluhu. Abu Hurairah says that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every Muslim is haram upon the other Muslim. Remember, we explained to you all, the word haram doesn't just mean illegal. The word haram means like sacred. Whenever you hear the word haram, what should come to your mind is a border, and anything which crosses that border has to be filtered by certain customs, right? So if your body is haram, is sacred, it means haram food that customs, of course, and excise doesn't allow you to eat. Haram food, the Sharia of Islam tells you can't eat it. So once it crosses within your border, your personal border, the border of your body, it is haram. Outside that, meaning somebody who's outside the border, somebody who's outside the border of Islam, they are non-Muslims, it's not haram for them. They would do as they wish. But a Muslim who has entered into the borders of Islam, you are governed by the walls of Islam surrounding you. Certain things are now haram for you. They cannot cross your borders into your body. So Makkah and Medina, there are borders. So Makkah and Medina, there are some things which were allowed before the borders, but when you cross those borders now and those limits, it becomes haram inside of those cities, inside of those borders, even though it was halal before that. Right? So here Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us every single Muslim should be treated with sanctity. Each Muslim is haram upon the other Muslim. And what we mean by haram means his blood. It is not permissible for you to shed or to spill the blood of another Muslim, or the character or the wealth. So just as you would consider murder to be a major sin, just as you would consider robbery or larceny or stealing from someone to be a major sin, similarly we should consider backbiting to be an equal sin. It's equal to like murder, it's equal to stealing wealth. Murder and stealing wealth is something which is haram and illegal, not just in Islam. Mankind itself naturally does not like murder, naturally does not like stealing wealth. So backbiting has been brought in this hadith right between murder and stealing someone's wealth. So it means backbiting is equal to murder and equal to stealing wealth. So equal to robbery, we're not speaking about petty theft, we're speaking about something major. We're speaking about armed robbery. So equal to robbery and equal to murder, stealing the wealth of a Muslim. backbiting is right there. Backbiting is equal to that. It's in the same phrase, it's in the same breath, it's in the same hadith. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned us against these three major sins that many Muslims would commit against other Muslims. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us, reminding us about it. So we'll just do these two hadith to complete this chapter, inshallah. The next chapter we're going to start is a chapter concerning Babu Tahrim Sima al-Ghaiba. The chapter concerning the law which tells us it is haram to listen to ghiba, to backbiting. So firstly, in the previous chapter, the chapter we have just completed, it tells us backbiting itself, speaking, backbiting itself is haram. Now we are being told in this other chapter, listening to backbiting is also haram. Because if there is no listener, then there wouldn't be a speaker. If you are not given ear and a hearing to the backbiter, then he would not have somebody to talk to. So just by allowing the person to speak to us about someone else, it means we are equal in the sin. We are allowing that person an audience and a platform where he or she can backbite someone else. If we were not there, then that backbiting would not have taken place. So we are equal in the sin. So it is haram to even listen to backbiting, and we are commanded, Man sami'a ghibatan muharramatan bi raddiha. Any person who hears the haram ghiba, the backbiting, you must refute it. You must tell that person, hey, what? I don't want to hear anything. Don't come to me with that kind of conversation. Don't speak to me about a person's fault. I don't want to hear it. Even if you might lose a friend, tell that person, don't go down that road. Don't tell me about this person's fault. I don't want to hear anything. You stop it, you lock it off before you can start. This is what we have been told. This is what we have been commanded. Right? And you must show وإنكار على قائلها فإن عجز أو لم يقبل منه فارق ذلك المجلس إذ أمكنه. So we have been told here in this chapter that you must even let the person who is backbiting see that you dislike it. Don't just brush it off. Don't just walk away. Tell that person, I don't like this. I don't want this. Be vocal about it. Be open about it. Don't be afraid, because you will be equal in his sin once that person starts. So you don't be like sitting down like a possum, and you're just listening to it, and you're going to say, you know what, I didn't add and I didn't subtract. So you're counting yourself as if you are not guilty of the backbiting. But sitting there and listening, or sitting there and allowing the person to think that you are listening, even though you're not paying attention to him or her, it is still sinful. So once a person starts speaking, stop that person, tell that person, I don't want to hear it, and let that person know you do not approve of it. And also, we have been commanded, if the person does not want to stop, if you cannot stop the person from speaking the faults of someone else, then you leave that person's company, leave that spot, leave that gathering, and go away. Just leave and go away. Right? So this is the chapter we're going to be speaking about, inshallah ta'ala. From Sunday, we would start this chapter, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.